Before Bitcoin, it would be true that the only thing you could own are your memories. Everything in the physical realm can be taken from you, whether it's money or a company or a house or a building or a bar of gold. All property you own at the pleasure of the state. At the point that they want to take it away from you, they will take it away from you.
Ask anyone over the age of 35 what their childhood phone number was, and they'll probably be able to recite it immediately, along with half a dozen of their best friends. Today, many people don't know their spouse's cell number by heart. It's called digital amnesia, and everyone with a smartphone suffers from it.
Everything on my phone is literally my brain. If I don't have my phone, I don't have my brain.
It's not a question of should we just do away with these devices, but what is the price of this convenient device?
This is part of the reason Bitcoin seed phrases and private key management can seem so intimidating to new Bitcoiners. A seed phrase is a seemingly random password. It's usually 12 or 24 words long, and like a key to a vault, those words have the power to hold access to your entire life savings. For the first time, you can store all your wealth in your memory.
You can go to the grave with a secret or with your own thoughts and your own memories. Everything in the physical realm can be taken from you. Before Bitcoin, it would be true that the only thing you could own are your memories, and that was pretty much it, because all property, whether it's money or a company or donkey or a house or a building or a bar of gold, all property you own at the pleasure of the state or at the pleasure of someone more powerful than you. At the point that they want to take it away from you, they will take it away from you.
Bitcoiners like to say, be your own bank. And this year proved why having a self-sovereign option is so important. Having a bank custody all your money can feel safer. They take care of all the security and responsibility of storing your money until they don't.
A rough week for the banking industry.
The collapse of Silicon Valley Bank, the second biggest bank collapse in U.S. history.
Even though ETF and other proxies for Bitcoin exposure are becoming more mainstream, there's nothing like holding the real thing, removing all counterparty risk. What do you say to the people out there who really want to own Bitcoin, but they don't want to take the responsibility of self-custody? They're hoping for a solution in which you could, equate it to the situation we have right now with banks. Essentially, you have an account, you trust them, even though we all know that if everyone were to pull out the money, they'd all be insolvent, but at the same time, no one does. So people feel safe, putting hundreds of thousands of dollars in banks. They do more research on what iPhone product they're going to get as opposed to where they put their money. So how do you see this all playing out in the future? Do you think that most people will take self-custody and should?
I personally am of the belief that the path to hyper-Bitcoinization is billions of people getting rugged over and over again by trusted third parties, by these different institutions that they trust with their information, with their money, until they realize the need to take personal responsibility over their digital lives, and then they act on it and start using the tools.
As for the best way to take self-custody of your Bitcoin after you withdraw it from an exchange, there are several common options, each with its own trade-offs.
Bitcoin is a global ledger of who owns what. And so another way to look at it would be, imagine there was a giant safety deposit box in the sky, and it was completely transparent. So you could look up at the sky, you could see everybody's individual box, although you don't know who owns what. You can see all the boxes, and you can see all of the money that exists and where it's allocated. What you have with a device like this is you have the keys to a particular box. So you can always see and you can always deposit anywhere, but unless you have the key, you can't open up somebody else's box and take money out. So these are the keys to your safety deposit box in the sky.
For easy accessibility and with varying levels of security, numerous hardware wallets are available from different manufacturers, including Coldcard, Trezor, Ledger, and Blockstream Jade, to name a few. These are really private key managers or transaction signing devices, since no actual Bitcoin is stored on the devices themselves.
I want you to think of the Coldcard as a literal key. Like, the key to your house doesn't know the contents of your house. So exact same thing. The key to a safety deposit box has no picture of what's inside the box. This is literally holding a key to your money. It is offline by design.
Cold storage wallets are very useful for implementing more robust private key protection schemes, like multi-signature setups, or multi-sig for short, which divide up the keys in a way that requires multiple signers to come together in order to sign a transaction, sometimes 2 out of 3, sometimes more. With multi-sig, different devices can be given to different parties and separated geographically to diminish the attack surface and avoid a single point of failure.
What people don't realize in Bitcoin is it's a game of survival. And that's why when I say stay humble, stack sats, the humble part is important, is because people constantly put themselves at risk when they don't have to put themselves at risk. You need to be humble enough to realize, first of all, you don't know everything. And then second of all, that there's risks around every single corner and you need to reduce your risk on an individual level. This is a movement of personal responsibility. If you don't take care of yourself, no one else will take care of you.
If all of this seems complicated, it's for good reason. But so was the internet in the early days, before AOL and Google came along to simplify the user experience. We can anticipate a similar process happening with Bitcoin technology and private key management as Bitcoin increases in mainstream adoption.
It's not as difficult as you think it is. If you can drive a car, you can securely hold Bitcoin. If you can raise a kid, you can definitely hold Bitcoin. Every single mother in the world can hold Bitcoin. It's way, way more difficult to raise a child than it is to hold Bitcoin yourself.
Bitcoin represents a truly new frontier as the first absolutely scarce asset in the history of mankind, allowing anyone with a phone to be their own bank.
In Bitcoin, knowing a private key is owning those Bitcoins. So there's no difference between knowing and owning anymore.
Keep stacking and always remember, not your keys, not your Bitcoin.